Once you open up that spiritual inner voice, that reverberation says, is this right or is this wrong? If it's wrong, don't do it. If your gut feeling says, this is rubbish, this doesn't make sense, don't do it. Some of your answers might be in some of the videos we've already done. So, any questions, please? I love this one. No, I don't have no questions, that is it.
One.
You got one. One's good.
It's Poltergeist. Why are they linked to teenage children? Why do they behave the way they do?
Interesting, that is quite a commonplace. I don't often get calls for going out to people's places, but last week I did 2 appointments, and normally most times you can do them remotely by tuning in first. When you're speaking to someone, you connect to their vibration, so therefore they're the link to where that property is or what the situation is around it. So I don't get them probably 4 times a year would be my average. I had 2 last week, so I don't expect any more for this time of the year. And quite often there's such a chemical change in the body that the frequencies of the chakras are changed so quickly, so they become quite aware of spiritual activity. And it's not something they're probably used to, so it becomes a bit of a problem in the family. And it's a bit like, my favourite expression is that if we put one of these like halogen lights outside, what would happen is that all the moths and flies would come around it, and we would be very around the light. And sometimes when there is that change around us, there is our light, and it's bigger than it is normally because we're allowed to open up. We feel comfortable with who we're working with and what we're doing. But in those changes, when those children are that young, their energy becomes quite bright, so they get attracted. Spirit can see them quite clearly and draw close to them. And quite often they can have communication with them, have a little chat to them, but sometimes it can be a bit of a scary Mary situation. It's not what they're expecting. They're seeing people coming close to them, never recognised them before. 9 times out of 10 it's not bad news, it's just something they're going through. And it seems to sometimes can affect a whole family because this person is attracting them into the house, and I often have it like from the father go, no, what a little rubbish is that, couldn't be happening, until they see something happening, they go, wait, quick, get him on the phone. And it's done quite naturally, so that's a normal thing to happen. Very, very normal. Sometimes it's the bottom end of that scale, which is when they're not long born. And there's often a very strong connection to spirit, because they've come from spirit. And whether it's grandma or great-grandma or some lovely soul that wants to look after them, there's another mothering figure that's around. And often the child can see that, and the children at those younger ages can be extremely clairvoyant. Oh look, mummy's standing over there. So that can happen, but very, very true, around puberty that happens. I try not to make this hammer horror films and that sort of stuff and get it scary stuff. Like most things, it can get sorted, and we've had everything from a very light extreme to a very heavy extreme to deal with. And it's quite often, if I've gone in there, and I don't mean I, but just as a person goes in there, they've already had a regular minister in there for a Church of England, the Catholic Church, and do a little prayer or a little blessing or something, and that usually pacifies it and quiets it for a little while, but it still comes back, because if you're not trained in that side, you just go in, calm it down, or muddy the waters, and you go away. So it's not uncommon to happen, but we've not lost a case yet, no matter how extreme it's been or how light it's been. And sometimes the activity can be extenuated by the people in the house. Sometimes we've had it where someone's lost a child and they keep the room as that child remembered, and they draw that energy all the time, so there's spiritual activity. Or it could be someone who's quite psychic and doesn't close down, more psychic than spiritual. They're really quite raw energy sometimes, and they do attract a level of activity. They go upstairs and someone's standing at the top of the stairs go, and who are you today? And it's that sort of thing. So putting a balance on it, putting a cap to it, it's not a problem if it's handled correctly, and it's an experience that a lot of people get who don't expect to get, or who don't even want to know what spirituality is. So it is a common thing to get, but it doesn't take much to put the cap on and make it really work. But good question, thank you. Anyone else?
How many spirits are around us, like right now, or in life?
It's quite easy. As a ballpark figure, you have 4 to 5 guides around you. One main guide, a doorkeeper, guardian angel, whatever you want to tag them with a name with. and you'll have other teachers that are around you to support you. You might also have family members that loved you and are connected to you, and they will often draw in on your energy. We often see them in the group standing near to you. So you'll have your main guides and teachers, plus you'll probably have family members, great uncle who or great auntie and those sort of things will be around you because they just want to see how you get on and all that sort of stuff. So it's quite an easy answer at that one. 4 to 5 guiding forces around you, one guardian angel who tends to stand back a little bit and just gives you a bit of intuitive guidance. They don't tell you what to do, although if they come through a medium sometimes they're a bit stroppy, you get telling off, which happens on occasions. But generally it's just guides and helpers and family. I go up to the door and go away! No, I don't. No, they don't. No. 9 times out of 10 this doesn't. It really doesn't. And after 30 odd years plus, I've not had that. I've had people who may be attached to that house because they lived there before, but they're not, you know, you're not going to loo and someone's sitting on the loo waiting for you. We wouldn't do that, and they don't do it. Yeah, that's a good thing because we don't know when they're there.
You don't do it.
But in all, you know, respectful ways, they do not do that. They don't, you know, stand in your wardrobe and go, I'm painting the wrong picture, but you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to teach an extreme. That does not happen. So rest assured that you can do what you do, but make sure you draw your curtains first. Questions?
Have we always had these guys around us?
Always.
Come in, always.
Always.
You just haven't felt them, so they've been hanging around you and you haven't taken notice.
Yeah. You know, I suppose when we get over 20-something or 30-something, we start to thinking twice before we jump in with both feet in some ways, and experience makes that difference. And sometimes we really do get that gut feeling, and it could be anything. It could be absolutely anything really silly. And they were with me the other day, they said, you haven't arranged car parking? I said, hey, I arrange everything, all my boxes are ticked. I thought, I wonder if that's true, and I hadn't. But they're just trying to help you. It wasn't a disaster, it was something that was planned and ticked away for going away. So they're always around, but we don't always listen. But sometimes we listen in a crisis, or if we put ourselves in a position that could be slightly dangerous for us, sometimes they come through even stronger. They can do that. So they're always there, but we've got to listen for it. Once you open up that spiritual inner voice, that reverberation says, is this right or is this wrong? If it's wrong, don't do it. If your gut feeling says, this is rubbish, this doesn't make sense, don't do it.
Just following on from the astral travel.
Yeah, astral travelling.
How do you know if you're open to do it? How do you shut down before you go to sleep?
That's a good question. You know, in our spiritual development, we always want to open up and do more. It's like discovering a new channel on TV. I said, I love this channel, and it's a spiritual channel that we're opening up. But in all essence, when we leave this building, the lights go out. Your light should go down. Your aura doesn't go off. If it is, you're dead, so don't do it. It just comes back in. When you're here, aura is out here, okay? Energy's out here, interlaps with everyone else. So when you go home, keep it practical, keep it materialistic. When you go to bed, don't think, I wonder who my guide is, I wonder who my guide is. At 3 o'clock in the morning, goes, hi, I'm here. Yeah? We don't want that, yeah? Close it down, find your guides in your circles, find your guides in your meditations. Not in your home, not in your bedroom, not in your lounge where you fall asleep like that. All those sort of things, yeah? So you need to close down, and you should have an idea how to close down. If you don't, I'll give you those sheets. And it's something you do, like you would lock your front door and turn your lights out. One more, okay?
Are we connected in past lives, everyone that sits in a circle? Have we met before in past?
There is certainly a possibility, but you will be part of a soul group in the next 100 years that will have a connecting and a grounding that will take you forward, and you will draw upon, you'll draw upon other people's energies, yeah? So the answer is that you could have been connected before in a previous life, but through spiritual associations in this life, you have now created that bond and that link, and it's a friendship link on a spiritual level. Doesn't mean you're going to go around people's house and drink their wine and all their bits and pieces. We can if you want. But it means on a spiritual level, you'll always have that connection, that bond, that is a good, trustworthy bond. So it's worth to hold on to that as you go forward. So the answer is probably yes without me tuning in, but you're already creating one for this life and the next lifetimes ahead. On that note, we better move on before I want to go home. So thank you all for that. Your stars.